Hello guys, welcome back to today's lesson, and today we are going to learn undefined or zero of algebraic fraction. I hope we all know fractions. Fractions always come in such form, that is a numerator over a denominator, right? So here we are going to do undefined and zeros of it. When we say undefined and zeros, we are talking about a fraction where the denominator is 0. Right? If the denominator is 0, it is automatically 0. And when the numerator is also 0, that question is undefined. So let's just read something little for us to understand. In algebraic expression, the expression of the form f of x on g of x is called algebraic fraction. The expression is 0 when g of x is equal to 0. That is, the denominator is equal to 0. Then the domain of any algebraic fraction are the values of x, which makes the fraction defined, right? When it is defined, it means it can do something. You can do something about it. You can further divide it into something, or you can leave it that way, right? So now let's try our hands. We always have to try to make the denominator be equal to 0 to make the fraction undefined, right? So let's try this example. It said find the values of x for which the fraction 1 on x squared plus 3x plus 2 not defined. The not defined here is also equal to the undefined. It's the same as it. So you can see that the denominator here is what? Is quadratic trinomials, right? Yes, it is quadratic trinomial. So here we just deal with this quadratic trinomial. We just find the values of x for which when we substitute them here, all this will be equal to 0. So we just move straight there. We said we make x squared plus 3x plus 2 equal to 0, right? Because you have to make all the equation here, the whole equation here, be equal to 0. So we further up, we've used the method of quadratic trinomials to solve. So this x squared plus 2x, you can see that 1 times 2 will give you what? 2. And 2 numbers, when you multiply you get 2, but when you add you get 3. It is 2 and 1, right? So we said x squared plus x plus 2x plus x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we can go by the method of grouping, or any method that we think it can help us. Simple factorize. So when we are to factorize, then we come straight here, we factor x out, then we get x plus 1. When we factor 2 out, 2 from here, to when you factor x out from here, here is x squared, here is x. So when you factor x out, it will leave x1 here, then the coefficient here is 1. Here we have 2, we have 2. So when you factorize 2 out, you get x, then 1 here. That is what we have done right here, right? So here you proceed. You, after factorizing some out, you know the quotient will be in one bracket, then the coefficient should also be in one bracket with the help of the operational sign. Then you equate it to 0. So we further and say when x plus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 2. We transpose the negative 2, we transpose the positive 2 to the equal behind the equal sign, then we get negative, right? When any number crosses the equal sign, when it is positive, you get negative. When it is negative, you get positive. So in the same way we do with the quotient, that is when x plus 1 is equal to 0, you get x being equal to what? Negative 1. Then you conclude, therefore the values of x for which that has to come, for which the operation or the fraction 1 on 2x 2 power x, no, x squared plus 3x plus 2 is undefined are negative 2 or 1, or negative 2 and 1. When you substitute these values into the fraction, you are going to get the denominator 0. Then it becomes undefined. Now let's quickly move to the next example. The next example says you should find the domain of the fraction. This, remember from here we said the domain of any algebraic fraction are the values of x for which the value of x for which make the fraction defined, right? So here we look at the fraction that will make the value of x, right? That will make this fraction what? Undefined. Clear? I hope you are not confusing yourself, right? So we look at the value of this which will make the fraction defined, right? When they define here, don't think of you are doing undefined, so automatically here should be undefined. No, it simply means that the value of x here, if without that value, it means any value that you can substitute here, the fraction will be defined. That's what the domain here means. So you go by solving this, we deal with the denominator. So 2x minus 1 is equal to 0 because you have to first know the value of x for which it will be undefined first. Then the rest of the numbers that will left will make it defined. Then when you transpose the negative one to the to the next hand side, you get positive. Then you divide through by 2 so that you get x. You get the x standing alone, which is x is equal to 1 on 2. Then you conclude, therefore x is such that x is a member of rational numbers except x is equal to 1 on 2, which means any rational number, let's say 1 on 3, 1 on 5, 1 on 10, 1 on 1 billion, when you substitute them here, the equation is going to be defined. But if you substitute 1 on 2 here, it is going to be undefined, right? And this is how you conclude the domain questions. If you don't conclude them like this, you'll get it wrong, right? My lovely students, this is a simple, and I hope you understand everything well. If you don't understand anything, just put it on the comment section so that I will read and know your problem and get to you. We solve everything. Goodbye. If you want more videos, just subscribe to Qwajo himself and click on the notification bell so that anytime I'll drop any video, you get it. I love you all. Bye.